Welcome everybody, my name is François Letarte and this is my channel JDRD30, a channel about tabletop role-playing games. Today with a special guest, my daughter. Question 11 of the RPG A Day 2015 series of questions. My favorite RPG writer. Well, I'd say that in general, RPG writers are game designers, they are not authors. You know, you usually don't find Shakespeare throughout their words. But some of them, well, have a good writing style that appeals to me. I will show you some of them and then I will tell you about my favorite. I don't have the book here. I forgot the book, but well, I like the style of Graham Botley. Okay, Advanced Fighting Fantasy. Yeah, well, he has upgraded that game from the editions that were before, because I've read the older editions of Advanced Fighting Fantasy and I wouldn't have played that game. But the second edition, well, the game design is good, was upgraded, and the way it was written, yeah, it was appealing to me. You know, it was easy for me to love that game after that. Another author that I like, Jamie Chambers, he wrote Cortex. I know that he also wrote Serenity for the Cortex system. And I think he wrote the latest versions of Metamorphosis Alpha. Metamorphosis Alpha as its 5th edition that just got out, I think. So, yeah. And another author that I really like for its writing style, Stephen O'Sullivan, that wrote Fudge. He's the Fudge creator. He also wrote one of the GURPS supplements that I love the most, GURPS Swashbucklers. The GURPS supplements are excellent. You play the game or not, it doesn't matter. You have to get your hand on their supplements because they are full of information. But if I have to talk to you about my favorite author, one that really struck through me, that inspires me, and yeah, one that I take time to read just to immerse myself with what he has to say. It's a big cliche, but it's Gary Gygax. Yes, yes, yes. I can't be more cliche than that because he's the first one. Okay, for the game design, well, first edition of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which is loved by thousands of people. Well, it's a pile of house rule one over the other. So I'm not here for the game design itself, but what he has to say about how to game master, how to be a good game master, how it should be, what kind of person you have to be, how to manage a game. All those advice that are scattered through that book are very useful, and I really like to read stuff from him. You know, when I find an article that was wrote by him, I take time to read it, and every time it strikes me how simple and right to the point this is, and how sage it is. You know, the guy knew what he was doing when he created those games, and he knew how to run a game. Maybe it must have been a good experience, you know, playing with the guy, even though he may have used rules that seem weird. Well, he has a way to explain them in the Dungeon Master Guide. That's where I learned how to really understand a combat in Dungeons and Dragons, because if I was to take my friend's word, it wasn't like that at all. And yeah, and even though first edition was a little weird, the other, well, the second, third, and fourth edition are, in my opinion, is what the players had in mind. It feels like they haven't really read that book, and they upgraded the game in the way they think it was, which is not that bad. But if someone really reads that book, they can understand how to run a first edition game, and they can understand that third edition is not the first, obviously, but it's too different. The guy really knew how to explain his stuff. He was, even the weirdest rules, he had a way to His justifications were right. You didn't have to agree with him or not, but you knew where he was coming from with these rules or these advice, and you understand him more. So yeah, I really like reading Gary Gygax. I haven't got through, of course, everything he made, but I'm looking forward to have some more of his book. I know that there's a book about game mastering he wrote a long time ago. It's on my bucket list, so maybe I'll find it on Amazon for cheap. So that was my author. Ça sera pas long. So, my name is François Letarte, JDRD30. Go check out Autocratik's website, channel, to his invitation to participate to this event. So, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your games. Goodbye.